Hello my friends, welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to be working on Layla, and she is available in my Etsy shop. This is the medium grayscale printed on my Nina Desert Storm paper. The light version of this page has no background. It's completely white. So I think I'm going to start doing that. I think, because I know you can't please everybody, but I'm trying to give a good variety of choices. So I know most people probably don't even print the dark grayscale version, but it's a good reference to be able to see clearly what everything is. And then the medium version is a nice version to print. I print those quite often. And then the light version, as I said, will have no background and is even, she's going to be even lighter. And then you can always lighten an image too. You know, if you want the background, but you want the lighter grayscale, just throw it in Snapseed and lighten it up. I have videos in the how-to playlist on how to lighten pretty much any digital coloring page, lighten or darken or do what you need to do to remove lines or all of that. So I'll try and remember to put a little pop-up card thingy. I'm not very good at that in the video, but again, it's in the how-to playlist, so it should be pretty easy for you to find. Okay, so before I get started, I don't know if you guys have ever done this, but so I finished her, I finished working on her yesterday, what we've done so far. And last night I was sitting on the couch and I was, looking at some photos, and the photo of her popped up. And I looked at it and I said to myself, what is wrong with her eyes? So sometimes when you step away from something, things look better. And sometimes when you step away from something, things look worse. And it was very hard for me to identify what it was that I had done. So of course I couldn't sleep. I had to come in here and mess with it. And what I came to the conclusion that I had done that was bothering me, and I think it looks a lot better now than the way I left it last time. I added a little bit more white here in the corner of her eye because it seemed like maybe her eye, her pupil was pointing in the wrong direction. I could be completely wrong. I could be crazy and I was just seeing things, but I did do that. I whitened up that little section of her eye a little bit, and I fiddled with the irises as far as like making sure that they were the same size. That's something that you always want to make sure that your irises are the same size, or else your brain is just going to know that something's off. And there's still a few things here that I think I'm going to change. I don't think I want her eyeball to look like it's protruding quite as much as it is. So I'm going to darken it a little bit so that we can push that bulge, push that eyeball bulge back just a little bit. I don't quite want it to be as sticking out as it is. And so as you know, when dark colors recede and light colors pop out. So I'm going to try that. I think maybe I might need a teeny little bit of espresso. And I would have done this off camera, but things that, little teeny tiny tweaks that are just like things that my eye needs to fix, probably aren't that important. But anything that I feel like, could affect the way that something, looks when it comes to you guys following along, I want to make sure that I try and let you know what I'm doing. All right, well, that's, I think, a little bit better. It's all in our head, right? I mean, half the time the things that I do, nobody else can see. And the same thing with you guys, you know, things that you see that you're like, oh my God, this is awful. Nobody else sees. So we all have our little, you know, things that we see. Okay, I'm done. I think I'm good with her eyes. So let's do the flower. For that, I'm going to use a couple of grays and my white and raspberry and chartreuse. So, oh, and canary yellow. So, yeah, I was a dummy and didn't think of the name of the flower. It's like it's some kind of a barrel cactus flower. And again, you know, shoot, I forgot to really look it up. There's so many, there's a lot of varieties. There's one variety of this flower that only blooms at night. So if you search night blooming cactus flower, you'd probably find something that looks very similar to it. But I will try and remember to put it in the description box below when I list the pencils that I'm using in the description box. I will write the name of that flower there instead of just saying cactus flower. Okay, so I'm going to start with Canary Yellow. I need my magnets. Help me hold my paper in place. Okay. Sometimes I have my iced coffee with me and I get so wrapped up in my coloring that I totally forget it's sitting there. All right, let's, I think I'm gonna need some black too. And probably some espresso. Let's see, I'm gonna just very lightly put a little bit of espresso in here. And maybe I'll do it in here too instead of black. Yellow and black sometimes don't play very well together. All right, I think I'm gonna go ahead and put, let's see, I think I'm gonna put I'm debating on doing the white first. Sometimes I like to do the white first, and sometimes I like to do the shade, you know, the shading first. There's a bunch of petals here, so. This is a separate petal. So if you're not doing this on tan, if you're doing this on white, you're going to be putting your grays in first. and your shadows. And then you'll come in and add your white and use the white to blend all of your grays and your shadows so that your petals are white with some, you know, with all those gray shadows. I'll start with these first, and then we'll add some gray. So I think I might start with the 70%. Maybe not. Maybe I'll start with the 50%. Actually, these in here kind of have a greenish tint. I'm going to take this Sap Green Light. I'm going to put some of that in here. Let's see, maybe some more yellow. All right, now our grays. I'm going to use the darker gray. in some of the darkest bits. I don't have a lot of those yet. Some of these will be. In fact, let's do that right now. So these right here are the shadows that are pretty big shadows cast from the petals above them. Okay, let's go back to the white and then we'll do the gray on top. So this one actually, I'm going to leave that. Sorry, I'm trying to work around the around the camera a little bit here. All right, some of these outer ones I'm leaving alone because they are going to get some color on them. So we're not going to touch those yet. This one I'm going to put some gray right now because it's a pretty good shadow. This is this one. This one. Okay, so stop there and do some shadows. What is this one? This is the 50. This is the 70. Okay, back to white. Okay, this right here is a petal. And again, if you're ever unsure about what something is or whatever, using the dark version of anyone's coloring page usually will be a really good indication. It will give you a much better indication of what stuff is because it hasn't faded out in the lightening process. Okay, white. cool gray. I'm debating on if I want that one white or not. I think I'm going to make that colored. I do. All right, let's do some 50%. Maybe 70%. I'm going to darken this one a little bit more. I think we're all good. Let's do the colored ones. So, Chartreuse, raspberry, and white. I'm going to put a little bit of white in here. Sorry, I'm dropping stuff all over the place. Okay, a little bit of raspberry. And a little bit of chartreuse. These two colors blend together so, with such a pretty color. I just love it. It's one of my favorite combos. I'm doing stuff. So that was raspberry and chartreuse. And I'm thinking that might have made those lines a little bit too strong, so try and soften that a little bit. I went a little crazy. There we go, that's better. Much better, okay. All right, raspberry. I'm just amazed at how bright things get with this chartreuse color. It amazes me. I don't know. I'm amazed by weird stuff, I guess. I have a wonderful husband who I adore. I have a grandchild who is just the most amazing, wonderful thing. My kids, my dog. I love my dog. I have a lot of really super fantastic blessings in my life. But I have to say that if I didn't have art, if I didn't have colored pencils and paper, I would be a much less happy person. This stuff just really brings me joy, like nothing else can. Everything else is joy in different wonderful ways. But if I couldn't do this, I would not be a happy person. I'm very grateful for this hobby, for you guys, for all of it. I love it all. All right, am I happy with that? Oh, I have to do something down here. I kind of feel like I want to almost even add some more gray into the flower. I don't, and it needs some more depth. So let's work on that. All right, so I've got the 70% gray. I wonder if I should pull out 90 or use black. All right, so here's my black. Because it's out and I'm being lazy. But I think it's fine. Just that is making a big difference. It's so cool how lights and darks. It's more important to get your darks dark enough and your lights light enough. You've heard me say that before, but you know, you never know who's new and listening. Then having the colors be exactly right. Colors can be a little bit different depending on, you know, what time of day it is and all that. But if your shadows and highlights are right, then you really get something that's more realistic. And I'm still, you know, I still have to work at that for sure. There's still so much to learn and get better at. All right, I'm going to put, just because I want to, a little bit more. The reference photo that I used to do this didn't have quite as much of these pinks and greens in it, but this is my art, so I can do it how I want, just like it's your art. You do it how you want. There's no right or wrong. All right, I think that's good. I think once we get the colors going underneath it, it will feel better to me. So let's try some yellow chartreuse down the center of these eucalyptus leaves. And then for eucalyptus, I always use Celadon Green and Jade Green. They're so close to each other. I use them interchangeably, but I do tend to do one color on one side. That was Jade. And then another color on the other side. See how close they are? They're so, so very close. One's a little bit greener and one's a little bit bluer. But I'm going to put some other colors on here anyway when we're done. So it really doesn't matter. Just pick whichever one you want to pick. There's no... This is one of those colors that I wish they would have made a little bit different. Because it's almost like, to me, it's almost a waste of a color. Like, they're so close. Did you see how bright that got just now? I just put this color right over an extremely dark gray part of the picture. And it just, and there it is. It's not dark anymore. I think people get so afraid of grayscale, and I wish they wouldn't be afraid of it, because it can be so fun. It can be so nice to color on, and it's not as dark as people fear it to be. And again, what I love about it is that there's no harsh lines. There's no lines that you have to fight with or try and, sorry, this is Kelp Green, try and cover with Posca pen or, you know, your colored pencil, whatever it is that people use to fight and try and cover up the lines in the coloring book. And you don't have to do that with grayscale. I think if anything, sometimes you have to add lines. All right, just a little. I'm debating on a little bit at the bottom too. All right, I think that's good. Let's do the String of Pearls. This is called String of Pearls Succulent. And for this, I'm going to start with Chartreuse. And I'm not going to worry about putting little white highlights in. You know, we could put a little dot of white. If you're on white paper, though, just put your white, just use a Posca pen to do it at the end. All right, there we go. Okay, so Chartreuse. Just to make sure that I have a really bad habit of incomplete sentences when I'm here talking to you guys. I'm sorry about that. It's because I'm talking and concentrating at the same time. So I start a thought and then I move on. So yeah, sorry. Okay, Prussian Green. I'm going to use that at the bottom. Or deep inside. I think that's going to be okay. Actually, let's just add some black. Kind of in, you know, we're doing the black in between them. We're not really putting any black on them. It's more of a, I'm going to go ahead and add it here now. Might as well. Although we could put the, we're going to use pan pastels on her hair. All right, I think that's okay. We're going to move on and do this. So this is a striped agave. And I may have added a bit more stripes than it really would have, but honestly, that's what the reference photo that I used had. Only the reference photo that I got, and all of my reference photos are all licensed to me. I don't take reference photos, you know, just randomly off the web. I have permission for all of the photos that I use for my pieces, just to be clear. But anyway, the photo that I used did not say what kind of plant it was. So I had to look it up, and when I did a visual search for it, it said it was an aloe vera, which is not, it's not an aloe vera. I could tell you that. And so as I continued to search and try and find something that I thought was correct, about the closest thing that I came up with was a striped agave. But it is a real picture, so it's a real plant, this thing, so... All right, so this is yellow chartreuse. Yeah, let's use a little bit of that. So it goes on the outer edges, kind of like that mother-in-law tongue plant that we did on Olivia and Ruby. Working in shadow for you guys. So that might be better. So I think that your printed picture might be a little bit bigger than this one. I'm trying to figure out what to do. I like my pictures printed edge to edge. I've told you this before, but I'm discovering that even though I feel like it shouldn't, I feel like it still pushes that picture out a little bit bigger than it should, and so some of my image gets cut off. So I might go back to just what I used to do is print regular and then just draw in the rest of the parts onto the page. I might have to go back to doing that. All right, let's do some Prussian Green, I think. Yes. Okay, so I'm looking here right now, and I'm realizing that, of course, I missed a body part. So her shoulder comes around here, and this right in here is her arm. So I put a little chestnut down, and a little beige sienna. And honestly, for that small of an area, I think that that's, you know, plenty. I think that's all good. Okay, so now I can keep going. It's inevitable. I always have to miss at least one body part. Cool. What are you doing, baby? Okay, let's... Okay, so next color is Sap Green Light. And I'm going to go right over what I did with the green. I'm not worrying about, you know, not covering it up, because it can all get smushed and lightened. These cactuses all seem to have a kind of a powdery, gray, whitish film over them anyway. So many of the succulents seem to have that, or these kind of cactus that don't have you know, spines, don't have needle spines. Although I would say that for living in the desert, I should know a lot more about cactus than I do, or I feel like I should know more about cactus than I do. But I don't love them. I'm not a desert girl at heart, even though I was born and raised here. I'm a forest girl. You know, some people are beach people, and would be happiest having a home on the beach. I'm a forest girl, and I would be happiest in a little cottage in the woods with a babbling brook on the property, you know, or, you know, a small river, creek, whatever you want to call it. Lots of trees. That's my heaven. We've been to Smoky Mountain National Park a couple of times now, and I'm gonna have to say that it's probably my favorite place to be of anywhere that I've ever been. That place is like heaven on earth to me. Okay, this is Kelp Green. I'm probably not done with this one, so let me back up and let's get some more of this Sap Green Light on here. Sorry, I got distracted thinking about Smoky Mountains. The sound of the river and the sound of the trees. All of it is just makes my soul happy. Okay, switched to the Kelp Green now. Kind of using it in the shadowy areas. Or, I don't know. There's no rhyme or reason. I'm just kind of putting it where I feel like it. I want it. I'm really annoyed by my printer, though, I gotta say. I know I've said it a bunch of times. I have a love-hate relationship with that printer. It's been a great printer for me. But right now I'm fighting with it, with the lines that it's making on my pages. And I don't know what to do to fix it. I don't want to have to buy a new print head. Although that would be cheaper than buying a new printer, that's for sure. All right, let's I think we're going to have time to do her hair too. Oh, no, wait, we're doing her hair last. I want to do her hair last, so we're almost at an hour. I'm thinking I might go ahead and do the background. Okay, so this is white, and I'm just putting a little bit of it on here. kind of like that powdery white film that is on the plants. I kind of want to replicate that a little bit. Actually, this is a kind of a shadow. I grabbed my 70% cool gray. You could use green. I think I just want to separate these two. I don't even know what these things would be called. Stalks? I don't know. All right, this feels pretty good. I think I'm going to call that done. Okay, so yeah, let's just go ahead and do the background, and then the hair will not take very long at all on the next video. So if you've printed the light version, you don't have a mandala in your background. It's just plain, you know, white or tan, whatever color paper you're using. There's no mandala. If you printed it with the mandala, I'm going to have you take your white pencil and go ahead and outline it, because, well, let me backtrack a little bit. If you want the mandala to show well, then take your white pencil and go over it. And then we're going to do the gelatos over the whole thing. The gelatos will tint the white pencil, so it's not going to be bright white. It'll be more the colors of the gelatos that we put on, but it's going to show up a lot better than if you don't outline it in white. If you don't outline it in white, then this is going to be really subtle. So I'm going to leave that up to you. I'm going to do it off camera in the interest of time, and really you don't need to watch me outlining something. So I'm going to do that, and then when I get back, we'll do the rest of the background. Alrighty, so I got the mandala all outlined with my pencil, and we're ready to start. So I'm trying something different this time, and I'm putting the colors on this side of the page. So hopefully when I go to do the color, you know, put the gelatos down, my hand is not, you know, so constantly in the way of the coloring. So, all right, so I'm going to use, oh my goodness, I don't want to make a mess here. Bear with me, hang on, sorry. My fan is just blowing all kinds of stuff all over the place. All right, so I've got blue topaz. And this one's a little bit crumbly, but it's still creamy. So I've heard people saying that they got their gelatos and they sent them back because they were just dry and crumbly and yucky, and that should not be the case. So if that happens, then yes, you got a bad batch. This is snow cone. When you're working flat on the table, it works a little bit better. Okay, this is Comet. So yes, it's a little crumbly, but it's still moist. So, and that's what you want. It should be able to move around on your paper with no problem. Okay, by the way, just FYI, if you guys ever shop at Walmart, these Parents' Choice baby wipes in Refreshing Cucumber are fantastic. They work great as a cleanup towel, and they smell good. So anyway, all right, next one is Banana. So see, some of them are crumbly and some of them, you know, are not so crumbly. And then this is Hazelnut. That one's really creamy, like, whew, it just feels super moist and creamy on the page. All right, so I'm going to start down here. I think I'll use a smaller brush, and I'm going to start with the blue topaz. So if you don't have gelatos, maybe you have the King Art gel sticks. You know, pick and you want it to look similar, just pick similar colors. I'm not a humongous, maybe I should revisit those, but when I tried the King Arts, this is Snow Cone, I was not happy with the amount of pigment. So they were super translucent, like too translucent for my taste. And so I don't use them very often, but if you like them and you use them, then by all means, do that. All right, I'm gonna put a little bit of, let's see, let's do, and I'm using, so far I'm using the same brush because I want all of these colors to kind of, you know, blend together. So there's some green, maybe a little bit of that blue topaz. And I think I'm going to switch to a little bit bigger of a brush. The short bristle stencil brushes that I get come in like a pack of 4, I think, all different sizes. And they're really nice. I highly recommend them if you don't have them. They're wonderful. All right, let's do a little bit of yellow. It's gonna kind of turn green, which is fine. Oh, you can barely see. There we go. I don't want to zoom out because I found the last time I did that, the color on the film as it was recording just completely changed. That's one of the things I get frustrated about with my camera, is that I don't have very good control over color. So I grabbed another brush, and this is the Banana. I don't understand why it keeps wanting to like auto adjust the color for me when I didn't ask it to. but I don't know how to, I just can't figure out how to make that not happen, so. All right, so see how nicely the white pencil has now acted as a resist, and so it's going to stay nice and bright no matter what we do over here. Okay, so I'm keeping one brush strictly for my yellow for right now, so that I can kind of keep it a little bit more pure. I know I called it yellow, it's banana. I always forget to use the actual color names. All right, let's see, I should have at least one more brush. So I'm gonna start bringing in some of this, what color is this called? Hazelnut. I'll bring the hazelnut over here. Be careful with the gelatos and the crumbling. In fact, I should probably be smart about this. That's not gonna work. Oh, I used to have a bunch of, there we go. This is better than nothing. So let's just be smart. Glassine paper is what this is. It's really a good idea to have something, whether it be wax paper or the glassine paper, but having something to protect your work at times is really handy, because there's nothing worse than working with something, you know, on the messier side and having it ruin your page. That just really stinks when that happens. Okay, a little bit more banana. And the nice thing about these gelatos is that you can build up the color. So if you put your colors down and then you start feeling like you want them to even be a little bit richer, you just let them dry for a couple minutes and go over them again with more color, and it'll make that color even deeper. All right, I think I'm safe to take this off just because I'm working over here now and not. So let's do a little snow cone. It's nice. It is nice to have several brushes to be able to use, because then you can, they don't blend together quite as much when you do it that way. Although this is my big fat one and I want to get in this little skinny area here. And because I'm using kind of greens on top of the greens, I'm not really worried too much about going right over the top of whatever it is that I'm doing. thinking, do I want to add a little bit of yellow? Let's just, let's add a little bit of the banana. Just a little bit, because I kind of like the concentration of the oranges being right there. So, just wondering if I want to just deepen any of this color up here a little bit. Let's see how much deeper it just got, adding another layer. Okay, I want to be careful with the gelatos. Brushing them off with the brush is probably not any better of an idea than using your hand, because it will make a mark. Now it's erasable. Most of the time you can just, get out your eraser and erase it, and it's fine. Alrighty. I'm going to just add a little bit of white. All right, guys, I think that's it for this video. I'm really happy with how she's turning out. I've got to say, it's always nice when things go according to plan. So the next one, we'll do her hair. That'll be a quick video. It will not take very long at all. And then she'll be done. Oh, you know what? No, we'll do that. We'll do that on the next one. That's not going to take any time at all. Her shirt. And, yeah. So until I see you all on the next video, take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. Happy coloring. Bye-bye.